All right, thanks, guys. The Wizards take on the Cavs. That's going to be a 7 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Cleveland. The Wizards open the betting as the 6-point favorite, and the total at 219. And since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of surprises here as Washington continues to take steady and consistent money in the early going here. Now, we haven't seen a whole lot of movement on the total. We're right back here at that original opening number of 219. But once again, Washington opened -6 up to -7.5. Once again, total opened 219 and remains at 219. 63% of the consensus is leaning toward Washington, 56% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, Cleveland is plus 265 for some money line cash. Now, you guys are going to think I lost my mind here, but I'm going to make a case for the Cavaliers in this spot here. They're 2-0 against the spread in their last couple of games, 5-4 against the spread in their games that were played at the current number. And on the Washington side of things, well, they're just covering just 28% of their games when traveling. They're also covering just 29% of their games as the official road favorite. And they rank 29th in the association in defensive points allowed. Now, when it comes to the scoring, Cleveland is 10-3 to the over in their last 13 at home. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it up, and take the Cavaliers +8 and the over 219 in that one. And before we go ahead and move on, I just want to take a quick timeout and just welcome you to the show. Got some lines and personal leans out for Tuesday's NBA, college basketball, and NHL action. But before we go ahead and dive into some more of that, I just want to quickly remind you to check me out on my website at patreon.com/BrockPage. And with a documented record of 9-2 in my last 11 plays on that website, you're certainly costing yourself some valuable information each and every day you're not subscribed. Now, memberships begin at just $1.99 per month. That's going to give you access to my daily best play. You get one of those every day for just $1.99 a month. There's also plenty of free content there as well if you just want to check that out before you dive in, if you just want to dip your toes in the water a little bit. But anyway, plenty of free content there as well. So once again, please feel free to just hit that pause button right now. Open up your browser. All you got to do is type in patreon.com/BrockPage, patreon.com/BrockPage. It'll only take you a couple of seconds. Link for that site is in the description section below. And once again, if you're a patron of mine and you're currently watching me right now, I simply cannot thank you enough. You most certainly make it all worth it. And with all that said and done, let's go ahead and hop right back into some more lines and personal leans. All starts Eastern Standard Time. And on deck, we've got Thunder at the Magic, 7 o'clock tip-off in Orlando. OKC is -5.5, totals 221 and a hook. Once again, OKC -5.5, totals 221 and a hook. 68% are leaning Thunder, 58% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Magic are plus 195 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Magic at home here, it's going to be tough sledding for you. They're going up against an OKC team who's 5-0 straight up in their last 5, 4-1 against the spread in that same category. The Thunder also rank first in road offensive rebounding, 5th in road scoring, and they're covering 67% of their games that tipped off at the current point spread. Now, when it comes to scoring, Orlando is just 35% to the over following a day off. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the half a point, buy it down, and take OKC -5 and the under 221.5 in that one. Next game, Bucks, Pistons. That's going to be a 7 o'clock tip-off in Detroit. Milwaukee opened the betting as the 6.5-point favorite, and the total at 217 and a hook. And since those markets opened this one up, not a whole lot of movement on the spread. We've seen it go half a point up or down here or there, but right now we're at that original opening number when it comes to the spread at most markets. Now we are seeing a little bit of movement upward on the total. That moved up to 219. So once again, the Bucks opened 6.5. They remain -6.5. Total open 217 and a hook, up to 219. 69% are leaning Milwaukee, 59% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Pistons are plus 235 for some money line cash. Now, if you like Detroit catching the points at home, it's going to be tough sledding for you in this game as well. They're taking on a Milwaukee team who's won 6 out of their last 7 straight up. They're also 8-3 straight up in their last 11 on the road. Milwaukee ranks first in offensive rebounding, second in scoring, and they're covering 86% of their games that were played at the current point spread. Now, when it comes to the scoring, Detroit's 3-0 to the under, taking on Milwaukee. So with all that said and done, I'm going to purchase the hook, slide it down, and take the Bucks -6 and the under 219 in that one. Next game, Bulls, Nets, 7:30 tip-off in Brooklyn. The Nets open the betting as the 7-point favorite, and the total at 217. And since those markets open up, we're seeing movement upward on the total. That moved up to 218. So once again, the Nets open 7. They remain -7. Total open 217 up to 218. 65% are leaning Brooklyn. 70% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Bulls are plus 245 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Bulls in an upset, not looking too good for you. They're taking on a Brooklyn team who successfully covered the number in 6 out of their last 7. They're also 6-1 against the spread in their last 7 on their home court. Brooklyn, believe it or not, ranks 4th in offensive home rebounding. They're also covering 75% of their games that tipped off at the current point spread. Now, scoring-wise, Chicago 67% to the over in their last 6. So with all that said and done, I'm going to not purchase the hook or anything because I don't have to. I'm going to lean toward Brooklyn -7 in the over 218 in that matchup there. All right, next game, Pelicans at the Rockets. That's going to be an 8 o'clock Eastern tip-off in Houston. The Rockets opened the betting as the 9.5-point favorite. They're now -10. Totals 234.5. 67% are leaning Houston. 56% shaded toward the over. And at the moment, the Pels are plus 445 for some money line cash. Now, the Pels have a slew of guys on the injury report. We have Mirotic and Anthony Davis out for tonight's matchup. We also have Moore out for tonight's game as well. And Randall is questionable with an ankle injury. The Pelicans are just 3-10 straight up in their last 13 when traveling. Meanwhile, on the Houston side of things, they've got the job done in 4 out of their last 5. They're 4-1 straight up in their last 5. 15-2 straight up in their last 17 at home. When it comes to scoring, Houston 70% to the over in their last 10 at the Toyota Center. This could be an 80-point night for James Harden. Give me Houston -10 and the over 234.5 in that matchup there. All right, next game, Suns at the Spurs, 8:30 tip-off in San Antonio. The Spurs open 12 up to -12.5. Total open 217.5 up to 220. Phoenix is plus 515 on the money line. San Antonio's 5-1 straight. Let's backtrack a little bit. San Antonio's 5-1 against the spread in their last 6. 13-3 against the spread in their last 16 on their home court. Now, Phoenix has Melton and DeAndre Ayton both out for tonight's matchup. They've also lost their last 8 straight. Now, when it comes to the totals, Phoenix is 67% to the over in their last 6. San Antonio, 80% to the over in their last 5. Give me San Antonio -12 after buying the half a point in the over 220 in that matchup there. All right, next and final game for our NBA slate. It is going to be Philadelphia at the Lakers, 10:30 tip-off at the Staples Center in Los Angeles. The Sixers open the betting as the 6.5-point favorite, and the total at 226 and a hook. And since those markets opened this one up, we're seeing steady money on the over. That line moved up to 229. So once again, the Sixers open 6.5. They remain -6.5. Total open 226 and a hook, up to 229 even. And at the moment, the banged up Lakers are plus 200 for some money line cash. And speaking of being banged up, the Lakers, LeBron James and Lonzo Ball are out for tonight. Josh Hart's also questionable, and Kyle Kuzma is also questionable as well. Now, Philadelphia, on their side of things, they're 5-2 straight up in their last 7, and they rank 4th in the association in defensive rebounding. Now, when it comes to the total, the Lakers are 8-3 to the under in their last 11. So I'm going to purchase the half a point, slide it down, and take Philly -6 in the under 229 in that matchup there. All right, let's go ahead and slide into some college basketball, and we're going to begin with Tennessee at South Carolina, 6:30 tip-off at South Carolina. Tennessee opened 9, down to 8.5. Totals 154 at a hook. 67% are leaning Volunteers, 53% shaded toward the under. And at the moment, the Gamecocks are plus 370 for some money line cash. Now, if you like the Gamecocks catching the plus points on their home court, you might not be in a bad spot here. South Carolina's 5-2 against the spread in their last 7. They're also covering 67% of their games.